You're now a proud owner of one of Diamond Dave's Ninja Teaching Flakes. Honey, let me see the sign right there. Come on in here, Ninja. Here's my Ninja at Diamond Dave's Ninja School. Come on down. What we're going to teach you, hold that, Lord, and what we're going to teach you in our first episode is a proper stance and a proper kung fu. And you got your Judy chop, all right? You got your karate chop, and you got your ninja chop. Now, what smart thing to do is like when you use a judo chopping, you gotta say it, for you beginners, like a Judy chop. Because what you don't want to do is like be a Judy chopping and a kung fu kicking, and there goes your leg. There ain't much calling for a one-legged ninja out there.
Welcome everybody to the Plumes of Hazard. I, as always, am your host, the Xful Vapor. To my left is the beloved talented Fubaka.
I'm eating cereal. Sorry, I was muted because I was crunching.
Yeah, and sorry there was a bit of a black screen there for a minute because I was looking over at the stream health and it went from excellent to no data, but it still, the previews was still showing, so hopefully you guys got to see all the entertainments. Did anybody see anything weird with the pre-intro and then the normal intro? I'm kind of curious about that. But regardless, you will notice that there are but two of us tonight. It's okay. Mass Blast had an ice cream emergency. He said he may be able to jump on in a bit.
It's gonna be a white boy summer show. He's got ice cream is part of that. It's the unsung hero of white boy summer.
It's true. So chat's been talking about waffles and then pancakes. And obviously waffles are the superior breakfast thing between the two of them. Sorry. Waffles are best. Pancakes are okay. But they lack, what did I say earlier? They lack two things. They lack the crispy and soft texture combination as well as syrup butter pockets, which waffles have both.
I don't know. I'm fine with either.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. I've eaten a lot of French toast, and you can have the crispy and soft and all that.
French toast. Yeah. No, I'm talking about waffles versus pancakes. French toast is
it's on its own.
It's on its own. And I agree. I like a French toast. What do the French call it? Pain pardieu or something like that. Something like that.
Omelette du fromage.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Omelette du fromage indeed. Wait, don't you have to hold up your tap to say that?
That is true.
Ah. Fessy said it's so suspenseful, waiting to see how many Holly-cued squares are going to appear. Yeah, just the two tonight. And possibly the third. We can always hope. We can always hope. Should we discuss your cereal of choice?
I would say it's probably. I'm wondering how popular it's going to be in the chat.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm wondering too. So I want you to bring it up.
I'm eating Crackling Oat Bran.
Yeah. Yeah. So crackling
my
oat bran,
favorites.
is that the one with the sticks? They're like long, skinny sticks or something, or is that something
No,
else?
they're like squares.
Oh, okay.
They're just very tough. You have to let them soak in the milk for, like I said, a minimum of 5 minutes. If you don't, GG, roof of your mouth.
Right. What was it in college? Is when my parents growing up, like we had none of the fun cool kid cereals, right? Mm-mm. Basically never. Like the craziest my mom ever went is like Honey Nut Cheerios. But
For those wondering, the bowl I'm eating right now, I poured about 12, 13 minutes ago.
and still crunchy.
Still pretty fucking crunchy.
Yeah. But I'm sure it will help move things through when you're ready for it too. So anyway, when I went to college, I experienced, I think for the first time, in my experience, the most, like the boss of ruining the top of your mouth, which is Captain Crunch. Dude, just shredded the inside of my mouth.
Crackling oat bran might be worse, TBH.
Is that right? I know that's possible,
not
but
careful,
I don't think I ever chowed down on it.
Dude, Captain Crunch gets soft in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what it comes down to.
So my thing though with cereal is I have to eat it really crunchy. Like if it gets soggy, I'm out. I'm done.
Crackling oat bran does it. That's kind of why I love it.
Right. Well, that's kind of good, right? And we were talking about grape nuts before this too, because I can get down to grape nuts back in the
Grape
day.
nuts is a dissertation. I don't even think it's the juice is worth the squeeze on grape nuts.
Yeah.
So,
but they do that weird thing though. Is eventually, after they've been sitting for a bit, they do end up soaking up the milk, and they end up being like a solid mass. Like it soaks it like a sponge. Like just ends up being like a little, almost like a pudding or something.
but I agree with you. Most cereals are like that, but crackling oat bran need just
Not like it.
minimum of 5 minute wait.
Yeah, exactly, Fezzy. Captain Crunch is made with razor blades. I think so. And so that is my problem. So instead of waiting for it to soften a little bit like you were recommending, I have to eat it like immediately because that's what I want. I want that crunch. Maybe I need to try some crackling oat bran.
Still crunching.
Yeah, still crunching. 15 minutes.
Still really
later.
crunchy. It's just varying degrees of crunchy. The longer it sits, you know.
Yeah.
Each bite is just an adventure.
Chevy Chase had a solution to that problem. I do not remember the solution to that problem. I think the skit that I remember Chevy Chase the most for, like if you say his name, the first thing I think of is the Bass-O-Matic. That's the first thing that I always think about with Chevy Chase. Is like the Super Bass-O-Matic. I think that's what it was. That's my Chevy Chase thing. So I'll actually jump on the cereal thing. So I used to love cereal as a kid, and I just kind of got out of eating anything for breakfast in general. But lately, I bought one of those like those giant sacks, the Malto meal size, big bags of their version of Fruit Loops, and like a bowl of those just like dry. Like for like a dessert kind of thing, like after dinner, sitting there watching the show or whatever. So instead of like popcorn, like a little bowl of that for a sweet. Not bad. I've enjoyed that lately. Like this last week, I've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, those are. I remember I used to love eating dry Fruit Loops.
It's not bad.
Not every cereal's like that. Like granola cereals are easy.
Yeah.
Just
Scoop. Yeah.
or just pour some into a cup and then just
sip it, so to speak. Yeah.
Like I think I was at Trader Joe's a couple weekends back, and I'm walking in, and like one of the first things I see is their cereal. I see chocolate, almond, granola. I was like,
There's like granola with almonds and then like cocoa in it. Is that the idea? Okay. So not too sweet, probably is my point. It's not like sugar chocolate. It's actually like cocoa.
It's cocoa. They're like bitter-ish like chocolate pieces in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you like little chunky chunks.
Yeah, it's almost like, in terms of how the chocolate tastes, it's like it's sort of reminiscent of like Cocoa Pebbles.
Okay.
But I think where it's, first of all, it's delicious. So I don't think
Let's
it's
get
more
that
so
out of the way.
I'm more so me nitpicking, but if it had some cinnamon, if it was like a cinnamon,
yeah.
That because I think
Yeah.
it's a lot of chocolate.
Mm.
So if you, I mean, for what it is, like, it's just, there's not like a whole lot of variety in it, but it's still yummy.
Still
chocolate.
Yummy.
But I like cinnamon and chocolate personally.
Horace said cinnamon toast crunch. So I would tend to agree. I seem to remember really liking that, but that was one of the ones that you had to eat. I had to eat immediately because it went soggy like that. The great.
I disagree. I don't think it went soggy that quick.
Really?
Honey Bunches of Oats, absolutely. That is probably the quickest one I have to eat.
Is that right?
But I love it. Yeah, and Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes, actually, that's probably the quickest one.
Yeah.
Frosted Flakes are fucking delicious.
They are delicious, but you do have to eat them fast. I mean, it's just corn chips with like a sugar spray on top, right? I mean, and corn flakes are, yeah.
Like, oh, you know what's another one I like that you have to let sit? Granted, not as dramatic as
the crackling.
Yeah, Frosted Mini Wheats. I love Frosted Mini Wheats.
So that one, so Frosted Mini Wheats are those the long skinny ones, or those the little squares?
So I remember the first time I had them, they used to be much heftier.
Yeah,
but that was a little too much.
Yeah, you had to bust those in half.
They've reduced the size of them, and I think they're perfect now.
Yeah.
So
the way I used to eat those is I would have two bowls, a bowl of dry.
That's another one to eat dry.
Yeah, well, I just meant I would drop them in the milk like 2 or 4 at a time.
Oh,
because I liked them crunchy. I like that crispy hay thing going on they got.
Yeah, Frosted Mini Wheats is a good one. I was telling you about Banana Nut Crunch before we went live.
Yeah.
So when I was Googling it, apparently it was discontinued for a bit. I guess this was, I don't know, there are just certain cereals you just don't eat for a while or what have you, just because, you get in your grooves of what you're like.
Yeah.
And so apparently it did get discontinued for a little bit because Post is the one that makes it. I don't know who in the chat has had Banana Nut Crunch, but that's another great one. Granted, mind you, we're like, this is mostly like a old people cereal talk. But honestly, some of the best fucking cereals are old people cereals.
Well, you start talking about muesli and granola.
And that's the other thing. I seldom buy like the bullshit I used to eat as a kid. Even then, like, my taste for a lot of the old man cereals, like, I've been there for a while.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, once in a while I'll get some Fruity Pebbles or something, but I'm not gonna eat it and say it was a productive meal.
Yeah.
But so what they did was they discontinued it, and then now Post does like the Great Grains line. So they've added some shit to it.
To the banana thing, the Banana Nut Crunch.
Well, not that, but like the cereals in that line.
Oh,
some ones I haven't seen before.
Oh, there's like 47 kinds of Cheerios now, right? I was down the cereal aisle a while back, and it was like there was legitimately over a dozen different kinds.
I think there's only one, maybe 2 variants. Well, Frosted Cheerios have been around for a bit. I remember Frosted and Apple Cinnamon Cheerios.
Yeah.
Apple Cinnamon Cheerios are actually really fucking good.
They were, and they had little apple.
Wait,
bits.
did they discontinue them?
I don't know. I just remember eating them when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember those were dope. The Frosted Cheerios were like whatever. I thought the Apple Cinnamon was where it was at.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now, obviously the Honey Nut is still like, but I actually like more, surprisingly. I actually ended up only eating it because my brother had a box in the house.
Mm-hmm.
They were his Cheerios, but the multigrain, those are really good.
Surprisingly good. Yeah. Because I feel like they were a little bit sweeter than regular Cheerios, but maybe not as much as Honey Nut. Like they were somewhere in between.
Yeah, and they're also made differently.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
Like those are actually good if you throw like banana in there. That's nice.
So Tomas said timing of the cereal is important. I completely agree, which is why I know some people are not a fan. In fact, I think I'm in the show with one of them, but I pour milk first. Cereal comes in afterwards, and I pour small bowls of cereal and just keep doing quarter bowls kind of thing until I'm done. Because I like it crunchy. I like the crunchiness.
I get that, but I don't know. Part of it is, I don't know. I like to eat a bowl of cereal. And because part of the fun is deciding, like, probably about halfway, 3/4 of the way through the bowl, if you're going to have another bowl.
Right. You're like, well, I got
Because
too
you're
much
like,
milk.
yo, like,
cereal.
this milk is only getting tastier. Then what you do is you take your used milk, you pour more cereal in there, and then you're like, oh man, I poured too much cereal. I need to pour more milk.
Exactly. Which is why I don't do that. And just pour the milk in first, and I have a discrete amount of milk.
I go big or go home with the cereal. So I don't eat it too often. I don't eat it too often anymore.
Yeah. Oh, we should go into the controversial other thing we were talking about right before the show is various nuts.
So yeah. So Banana Nut Crunch has walnuts and almonds in it. And Ainsley does not like walnuts. I didn't know he doesn't like walnuts.
Do not like walnuts.
To be fair, I don't blame him because for a while I didn't really like him either. But like Banana Nut Crunch was like one of the few instances. Like I was telling him, like I'm very picky about where I'll eat my walnuts. That's one of them.
I'm not a big fan of walnuts. I'm not a big fan of macadamia nuts either, because they're oily, like they're greasy, which I don't really care for.
Yeah, but the Pepperidge Farm, is it Pepperidge Farm that does the chocolate chip macadamia nut cookies? I think it's Pepperidge Farm.
Probably.
Those are pretty dank.
And I've been to Hawaii, and obviously they do all the chocolate covered macadamia nut, fish.
Bro,
and,
the ones that Chato sent me, oh my god.
Yeah, and I'll eat them because they're Hawaiian and special and whatever. But
no, and he sent me the dark chocolate one. I'm like, wow, the quickest way to my pants.
Yeah.
It was like really, really good quality chocolate. I was just like, oh.
I think it's a texture thing between both of those. At least
I would rather
macadamias
have
are
dark
crunchy.
chocolate covered almonds.
Yeah, any day, for sure. I mean, like almonds are great, pistachios are great. I like cashews are probably my favorite.
I don't really care for chocolate and pistachios, like chocolate covered pistachios.
I don't think I've ever had chocolate covered pistachios before.
No,
I just eat them out of hand. They're good.
No, like I've seen them. I've just never ventured to try them.
Yeah, I haven't either. That would be a weird flavor combo, I would think.
Oh, hazelnuts. I don't know if anyone's mentioned those.
They're all right. They're okay.
Ferrero Rocher.
See, Ferrero Rocher, they're okay. I'll eat them, but it's like...
Oh, dude. That's one of like, literally, that's like...
Top tier for you?
Uh-huh.
I mean, they do have the Nutella inside, which is nice. Yeah.
That and like, dude, the nuts are like the absolute perfect size for the most part. On the outside, like people complain about like getting whole peanuts or whatever in chocolate. Right. Oh, it's beautiful.
They do a pretty solid job, I would agree.
And like there are parts of it that just melt in your mouth. It's just...
So I think
it's a fat kidgasm, I think, in a candy.
I think my favorite of the droops and or nuts would probably be cashews, followed by almonds. Those are probably my favorite.
I can't think of there has to be a cereal out there that has cashews in it. I can't think of one.
Besides like muesli or some granola and that kind of stuff. You're right. I don't know if there are very many with cashews in them.
And even granola cereals, I don't really know many that have cashew in it.
Bastards.
It's all about like almonds and pistachios and shit.
Yeah. What about pecans? How do you feel about pecans?
Actually, I definitely like them more than walnuts.
That's
I'll eat the fuck out of some pecan pie with ice cream.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, that tends to be kind of a southern droop. The pecan.
My sister makes a really good. I think, did she make pecan pie for Thanksgiving this year? I don't think she did.
If you're talking about in the context of a pie, that is the only reason, the only way I will forgive you for saying pecan. I have to say though, so
My niece calls them pecans.
Beacons. I've got family in the Carolinas, and they say, do they say pecan? I think they say pecan too. They say something wrong, whatever it is. I forget. It's not pecan, which is the proper pronunciation. But because you're making it in the format of a pie, which is delicious, fine. I'll let it slide.
Oh, actually, it reminds me. At Trader Joe's, one of the snacks they have is sweet and spicy pecans.
Ooh, sweet and spicy. Huh?
They're tasty.
All right. There's a lot of people who don't like them because they do have a bit of a bitter thing going on, right? A lot of other nuts have very little flavor, and pecans have a lot of
nut
flavor.
I don't really like raw. Like I could eat raw almonds and pistachios all fucking day. Cashews too.
Okay.
Pecans.
Yeah.
Can't do it there. Like they're a little too bitter raw. Like they got to be roasted.
They are extraordinarily bitter if you don't clean them. If you have even the dust of the middle wedge between the two halves, even the dust is crazy bitter. If you get them clean, you can eat them raw.
Like that's something I'll buy out of a container from the grocery store, from a shop.
Mm. So when I was a kid, we used to have to. My mom would buy like a friggin' peck or a bushel or something of the friggin' pecans, and we'd take hours. She'd make us clean the pecans with a little lever action cruncher or a rubber band action, and with our little kid fingers, able to get in and get all the pecans out. So
yeah, dude,
I hated
it. Like when I was old enough to peel garlic.
I have to admit, so because of the alio e olio that I've been making a lot in the last few months.
Guaio.
Alio e olio.
Guaio.
Guaio, indeed. Although I have been told there's two different pronunciations of that, and I am not Italian, nor do I speak Italian, but I've watched videos on both of these pronunciations, and I don't know if it's a Sicilian versus Southern. I don't know, but one of them is aglio e olio, and the other one is just alio e olio.
You're aglio.
Aglio. What's wrong with your face, you aglio?
You aglio.
No, that's that garlic and noodles. It's olive oil and garlic and noodles, and it's fantastic. It's like the best thing ever. I've modified it a little bit by adding some Parmesan and some herbs out of my garden and some other stuff that's not terribly traditional. I think traditionally they use parsley, which I like and I'll use, but I've got a shitload of fresh oregano in my garden, so I like oregano in it, and I also like Parmesan in it. Although I'm told that if you put Parmesan in it, it's like heresy or something, but I like it, so I put it in there. Anyway, my point is there's a shitload of garlic in alio because that's half of the thing. And so instead of peeling an entire head of garlic, I've been buying there's like these little blister packs of whole but peeled garlic cloves. Dude, it is a massive
you can get them from
saver.
Costco.
Yeah, massive time saver. Oh my god.
Well, also, Chuff told me of a great method.
Which one?
Something actually I told my sister-in-law to do, but she couldn't get it to work. I don't think she followed my instructions properly because I wasn't there when she did it. But you take two. Basically, what you do is you separate them from the spine, right?
Yeah.
And then you put them 2 stainless bowls and you shake them up.
Yeah.
And that peels them pretty good.
It doesn't work.
I've gotten it to work.
Aglio or alio is garlic, and
In relation to bug in cornholio.
directly related to cornholio.
That's great.
Yeah, so aglio is that's the garlic part, and then e olio, and that's olive oil. Yeah, and it's basically you just make the pasta, and you're toasting garlic in a shitload of oil and a shitload of garlic. Drag the noodles into it, give it a good stir with some pasta water. Man, it's simple and delicious. I melt some parm in there too, fresh herbs. Solid. So I have never found very good luck with that method, by the way. I've tried it. Don't really use it.
I need to go get some pistachios.
There you go. So the only way the fastest way I've found to do it is you can buy, and there's a bunch of different brands, and including some Chinesian ones, but it's basically like a little silicone sleeve. You just put the few garlic cloves in it and squish it and roll, and it pops them right off.
Well, here's the thing. Indian Pakistani people, we go through a lot of garlic ginger paste. So.
Oh yeah.
So, for the most part, we make our own and just put it like basically peel up a bunch of ginger, cut it into manageable chunks, and then peel a shit ton of garlic and then blender.
There you go. Yeah.
There are ratios we do for them. I don't know, because like the ones you could buy in a supermarket, I think is like probably 50-50, but
you can go
at least.
In my opinion,
like my mom's side of the family, we use two different ratios depending on what meat it's going on.
Sure.
So
for me, and I like ginger, but I think you can go too hard on ginger, and it's basically impossible to go too hard on garlic, in my opinion. You can I can put a shitload of garlic in something before I'm okay. So garlic press is key. Horror and Tim are both saying that. So in alio, you're not supposed to crush it. You're supposed to slice it. So real thinly sliced garlic toes.
Yeah, so it ends up liquefying in the pan.
Yeah, you basically toast them in the pan in more oil than you think you need, like a shitload of oil, and it'll coat up the noodles once you kind of finish the cooking in there. But the nice thing about it is there's like, slices of garlic everywhere. Like they're all over the place, and they're not harsh anymore because you've basically sauteed them or par fried them a little bit in a low temperature oil while you're waiting for your pasta to come up. It ends up coming together really fast. The longest, now that I've been buying those little the cloves that are already peeled, the longest it takes anything is to bring the water up to boil for the pasta. That's about it. Everything else is pretty quick.
Want pasta now.
You want pasta now? Yeah, sorry.
Actually, I had some last night, but it was like my sister's leftovers.
Yeah.
From dinner. She like went out to dinner and had it was a spicy penne alla vodka.
Okay.
Leftover. Really good. It was actually like much spicier than I was expecting.
Oh, it's spicy.
It was very creamy. It was it was pretty spicy.
Interesting. Every time I've had the vodka sauce at an Italian place, it's been pretty creamy and mild, not spicy at all.
Yeah, I know this was a specifically spicy one. So,
okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of heavy cream in that sauce. I could tell her half and half, and it was yummy. But there was also a lot of chili spicy.
Sure. Yeah. So Fessy, that's a really good point. So when I was a kid, and this was a long time ago, like mid-late 80s, before you had a million choices at the Mega Mart or whatever, right? You just had your grocery store. My aunt lived in Michigan, and when she would come down to visit, she would bring this particular ginger ale that is made in Michigan called Werner's. It's got this green can, and if you've ever had it, it's fantastic. It's really, really good. So when I grew up, that's what I grew up thinking about, this treat that my aunt would bring down from Michigan, and it was awesome. It was super peppery. I mean, very, very gingery, and great. And then I found out later, I knew I liked it. So later on, at some point, I decided one time I wanted some ginger ale. So the only thing they had in the store was Schweppes, I think, and it tastes like garbage. Like it's not good. Like you can barely taste the ginger. It's awful. I mean, I guess anyway, no, I don't particularly care for it. The only thing that I buy ever, even to this day, is they started, once the globalization hit, they do carry Werner's in my local grocery store. So I usually get that. Yeah, I would imagine homemade. If you overdo ginger ale with the ginger at home, yeah, I bet it is quite spicy.
I just got some pistachios.
Have you ever had Werner's ginger ale? It's in a green can.
Werner's.
Yeah, Bernors. If you haven't, the next time you're at the grocery store, pick up a 6-pack. You will not be disappointed. It is really good.
It's sold nationally.
It is now.
It's made by Keurig Dr. Pepper. Wow, what a conglomerate name.
It's made by Keurig Dr. Pepper now? Really? No kidding.
It might be a Dr. Pepper drink.
Maybe it's just bottled. Let's see.
Wait, Dr. Pepper's Pepsi, right?
No, Dr. Pepper is its own monkey.
Oh, right.
So
Dr. Pepper when?
it was created in 1866 by James Verner, a Detroit pharmacist. Back in 1866, a Detroit pharmacist probably wasn't funny. Now it's pretty funny. If you're a pharmacist in Detroit, that probably means something very different.
Yeah.
That is funny. So yeah, no, it's really, really good. Next time you want some ginger ale, get it.
No, a long time since I've just had any kind of soda.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Last time I went to McDonald's, that was probably the last time I had a soda. It was like the first week I moved here, actually. So yeah, first week of January.
Pasta con broccoli. Okay. Wait, pasta con broccoli? Do they use con like Spanish uses con? That's kind of funny. Angel oil, pasta, olive oil, chopped parsley, chopped clams, and lots of garlic. Yeah, no, that sounds like at least part of what I'm talking about.
I used to make the bachelor version of that a long time ago.
So, yeah, me too.
Basically, I would do ziti, olive oil. Like I would pre-boil frozen vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Pour that in there. Throw like just everything.
Yeah.
Salt, garlic pepper. I mean, rather garlic powder. Maybe a little bit of chili.
Yeah.
Black pepper. Make a giant bowl of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, good. Hazozola. Hazozita? Hazozita. There it is. I need new context. But I'm glad to see somebody else knows Verner's. That's awesome. Yeah, no, other brands and stuff it's not the same animal at all. Like Schweppes. Nah. Mm-mm.
I do like Schweppes seltzer.
Yeah, Nate, that's what I was saying is cone is whip. That's what I mean. But he was talking about an Italian dish. That's why I was wondering if it's the same in Italian. I don't know. I don't speak Italian. Sassafras. Yeah, that was something else I remember when I was a kid is walking down to the corner store and buying me a sassafras tea or sarsaparilla if they had that in. Good shit. So last week,
I'm like, it must hurt your southern ears to tell you that I grew up drinking the various Arizona iced teas and Snapples.
I did.
And
like,
powdered iced tea.
That made me sad. I remember talking to Chuffawell about that. He was talking about how the Southern sweet tea is basically diabetes in a glass. I'm like, psh. Poo nanny.
Not if you don't acknowledge it.
That's right. It's because it's not iced tea. It's sweet tea. It's its own thing.
No, that's what I mean. It's just not a big thing on the Northeast. Not until like you had some Southern chains come here and make it a thing, and then like McDonald's ran with it. And
yeah, well, and there's people that also try to make it with like Tetley.
But
Louisiana. There's only Louisiana. Tetley's gross.
But yeah, I mean. Plus, dude, you grow up in a Pakistani household. Those tea bags are for your parents' chai and guests. That's it.
Right.
You use that to make iced tea. Your ass beat.
Mm-hmm. Well, but Louisiana, and they do make like tea bags, like regular tea bags, but they make the ones that my family always bought, and the ones that I continue to buy to this day are they're called family size bags, and they're like 2 or 3 times the size of a regular bag. It would be useless for your mom's old cup of tea because it's too big. I never got into cream soda. I used to like root beer and that kind of stuff, but I never, and sarsaparilla and
Jones cream soda, I love. That is diabetes in a bottle.
I'm trying to sound out what Festy just said. You can tell I'm a transplant. You always hear sweet 8 tea. No, it's sweet tea. That's what it is. That particular part is not gone from my from my accent. Sweet tea is a thing. Sweet tea was invented by a Southern dentist. That's possible. That is entirely possible. Because we had access. So I mean. Depends on how well off you were, right? We were not, and you have access to cane sugar down there. Sugar's pretty cheap, but like a Coke, you got to pay for it, right? For the price of a Coke, you can make a gallon of sweet tea. Yeah, it's fine. It's just not carbonated.
I forgot that the can is removable from my garbage can, so I just did that.
You just did what?
So I was like just kind of leaning over my garbage can on the floor for my pistachio shells. I was like, wait, the can's removable, so I could put it in my lap.
There you go. Sweet tea. I've always heard and said it. Sweet tea. It is tea. It's not tea. I don't know where. Maybe you're. Well, then again, from where you are, you're probably closer to Kentucky and Tennessee, and they got some. People got a lot of nerve talking about Alabamians and their accents when you've got people like people from Tennessee and Kentucky. Whoo! Yikers.
So yeah, like now that I think about it, like unless you knew somebody from the South, the only type of sweet tea I knew of was like the Arizona one.
Right.
Which was kind of gave you an idea.
Yeah.
But I grew up drinking lemon iced tea so much, that's kind of like what I love.
That's a good point. So they do serve it with lemon down south as well as an option. I've never particularly cared for lemon in my tea. I like lemon. I like lemon things, but like in my tea, I don't want it. I'm not sure when that started. Yeah, Kentucky Hill people. Yeah.
On the half and half lemonade iced tea.
Ooh, the Arnold Palmer. That name is still one that I have to try to say right. It is an impossible thing for my brain to get my tongue around.
You just call it a half and half because that's what
yeah.
Before the Arnold Palmer name caught on from Arizona. I don't know if they came up with it or popularized it. Most delis would still call it a half and half.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty common.
There's some delis that had a great fucking half and half.
Who?
There's like a handful of delis I remember that made a really good half and half.
No, it's solid and it's real good if you're gonna do a proper half and half though, because like lemonade and sweet tea they're so different. And you have to have the right sweetness of both, right? If they're both too sweet, it just ends up being too sweet. But if one's too sour, then it messes it up. But there's a delicate balance there somewhere.
Yeah, I remember in my friend's neighborhood, like north of where I was on Long Island. He took me to one deli. I remember. They had great chicken cutlets, so it was like, I was like my go-to deli meat. Dude, I'm getting fucking robbed this bag.
Uh-oh.
How many are fucking closed off?
I was gonna say like totally solid.
I'm not busting out the pliers. But they had great chicken cutlets, and their half and half was just like perfect.
Chicken cutlets, are they fried?
Of course.
Okay. I didn't know if they were prepared some other way.
No, they're not. They're just like a grilled chicken breast, I think.
Yeah, like pan fried, right? Not like deep fried.
No, the cutlets are like fried, I think.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, no. Then... Actually, yeah, they're pan fried.
Yeah, Addie, I'm glad you posted that particular thing. Is most people do not vape, or young people do not vape, and most even fewer vape regularly. That has been what I have seen as well. Like the initial scaremonger tactics that had to do with the kids vaping were like the phrase was like, "Have you vaped in the last year?" And it's oh, epidemic. Sure. Arnold Palmer invented the Arnold Palmer. He did. See, I just did it.
Half Lipton, half Country Time Limited.
Oh, no Lipton. No Tetley, no Lipton. There is only Louisiana.
Tetley's good if you're making chai.
Sure. Yeah, just not sweet tea. I think that's one of the reasons why the Brits don't really understand sweet tea, because their tea, while it's delicious when it's hot and made, brewed the way you're supposed to make it, sweet, like, tea is different. Like if I took one of my, beloved Louisiana tea bags and tried to make hot tea out of it, it would be gross. It's not the same thing, right? It's formulated, and tea leaves are different, and it's, I'm sure, fermented in different ways and whatever. Different animal. What is Brown County? I didn't catch that one. That must be a regional thing. So here's something that I did not know for years with regards to pistachios, is using your already split halves to pry. Like, it never even occurred to me, and I used to jam it apart.
I've only done that once because it's either it's openable or it's closed off and fuck you.
Yeah. But there's some that are closed off enough to where your fingernails are going to suffer, and you just jam in one of the other half shells and twist like a key. I never even thought about it. I was probably 20 something before anybody mentioned it. Yeah, it's one of those like. Absolutely. I did finish off that bag of chili pistachios that you were not feeling. I completely agree with you, by the way. By the end of that bag, I was totally done with them. Like, I was like,
That's just how it is with flavored pistachios, in my experience. Yeah. Like, even salt and pepper ones I bought from Costco.
Yeah.
I made like a third through, and I was just like, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Like, Bigglesworth is a big fan of the smokehouse almonds.
Yeah. Too much. Did you just mute yourself?
I think so. I hit my space bar. I literally only eat them when I go to his house.
Yeah.
And they're and I enjoy the shit out of them.
Yeah, a handful of them are fantastic, right? But they get old quick. Yeah.
Because then all you take is the taste of fucking smoke.
Yeah.
Campfire.
Oh, that's right, Toas. Jasmine tea is super good. Totally different thing.
I think we're going to grab another snack. Let's see what I come up with next.
What will Fu return with?
Your piece came himself.
All right, so last week I had a plethora of vape mail things, more than I've had in probably 2 years. And I kind of feel bad because I don't feel like I have any more vape mail ever. Like, all my free hens are home. Got new fresh batteries. I've got a bunch of juice back there that that we can't order anymore. It's kind of a bummer. TF Cooks. I'm going to bring that up with Fu when he gets back, because yes. Okay.
We've got dried apricots.
Ooh, dried apricots. So TF Cooks just mentioned in chat, remember when all pistachios were dyed red? And I do, and I don't know why. I was going to ask if anybody knows why that was, because I do remember that being a thing, but I don't remember why. Fessy agrees, by the way. A bag on an airplane is the perfect amount of smokehouse almonds. That's all you ever want. After that, you're like, nah, that's enough. Just give me regular ones. Do you remember the red pistachios?
Not ones you get in the grocery store. The only time I remember that being a thing is when like my mom would get from like the Indian grocery store. But they were never like completely red.
No, they're not. They weren't flavored. I think they were just red for some reason. I don't know why, but I do remember that being a thing. I don't know why.
Were they dyed or were they just a different?
Is there a different species that's red?
I don't know.
To Google.
Oh, let's settle this live. So,
all right, here's the first article at the top. October 19th, 2019. Red pistachios, where did they go and why? Yeah. Here, I should share my screen.
due to antiquated harvesting methods, nutshells were often left with ugly stains and splotches. Foreign pistachio producers dye the pistachios with a bright red color in an effort to hide the stains and make the nuts more appealing to consumers.
Yeah, a Syrian importer named Zaloom who dyed his pistachios red. Because of the reason you just said.
Man, I was hoping for like some freak of nature shit.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope. Just the freaking Syrians. Apparently.
Hey, man. People love that shit now.
Though most millennials have never seen a red pistachio, they still exist. But generally as a novelty item. Well, there you go. Hey, dude, I learned something tonight. That's good. Yeah. It's always good to learn something. So Vietnamese coffee with condensed milk. Yeah, or like Thai iced tea. Is that something that you enjoy?
Vietnamese iced coffee, absolutely. Cafe Suda.
I find it to be too much. Like it's like a milkshake.
It's a dessert for me.
There you go. If it's, I'll give you that. If it's like for dessert or something after dinner, okay.
Absolutely. Eat a big fucking thing of pho, and then I'm like, I want the Cafe Suda.
Oh, dude, I work with a couple Chinese ladies. And one of them in particular got a very thick, I mean, they're both fluent, obviously, in Chinese. And every time either one speaks, all I can hear is me carry. That's all I can hear. Like, I'm having to mute myself sometimes on the meetings.
And his accent's more Vietnamese.
It is. Well, one of them is Vietnamese, the other one's Chinese. I should have been more specific. But it's both. It's so good. Because all I can see is free carry. And his accent is so good. It's so perfect. And one of them in particular is just, it just might as well be him on the phone every time. It's so good. Oh, Addie, you're an absolute gem for posting all those links. I really appreciate it. Red number 4. If they outlawed that one, it's probably a good thing. So when I was a kid, my kid brother, if he had anything with red dye, I think it may have been number 4, red, whatever the bright ass red dye was, anything that he had with that in there, he would go off just off the hook. He was nuts. And that's what my mom eventually nailed it down to is that particular dye. She swore it was that. I don't know what was in it.
Would you say it turned him into the devil?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It turned him into the devil. Hey, I guess we didn't get a hold of Mass tonight, but I do have to run. I've got things I got to do tonight. You got anything else we want to talk about? We talked about a bunch of stupid food.
I want to talk about food. We talked about food.
We did.
Cereal, then nuts.
Well.
Other miscellaneous throw-ins. I'm happy.
Yeah, Fessy, I completely agree. Every time I see somebody walking by with their coffee, And it's basically just a milkshake with some,
Not gonna lie, Festy. About 3 or 4 times a summer, I get myself a fucking ice bitch drink from Starbucks.
there's nothing wrong with it, but it's
Great.
it's a dessert or whatever, right? It's a if you treat it like a milkshake and that's a treat, okay, fine.
Well,
But
exactly.
these people that walk around like every day with their little cup of mocha frappuccinos or whatever.
I don't see people getting those
not
daily
coffee.
anymore. Thankfully,
Was that?
I don't see people with like as someone who, like when I was in the office, I was regular there getting cold brew in the morning. But yeah, I don't see people you know what people like to get on the reg are their fucking iced teas and lemonades. They're pretty good. See, Masty would attest because I know there's one that he really likes. I think it's the passion fruit lemonade.
Oh, I'm sure. It just always makes me laugh when people talk about they have to have their Starbucks coffee. They have to have my Starbucks in the morning.
I don't drink their hot coffee. I think it's garbage.
Oh, their hot coffee is garbage.
Like their beans, you buy them, they actually brew pretty good at home. And of course, the 2 beans of theirs that I actually used to like brewing, they fucking got rid of. They discontinued. I was like,
of course, jerks. Time to hurry up in the kitchen and do waffles. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Fest. I may have to whip up some waffles there pretty quick. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out and shooting some shit this tonight. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of the week. We will be back here, same Plumes time, same Plumes channel, hopefully, with our Mass Blast back in effect. No more ice cream emergencies. We can hope. Night, everybody.